Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today. Chapter 286, 285, Fire Spirit. Chapter 286, Chapter 285, Fire Spirit. Ravik steps forward, his aura a crushing tide of molten iron. His voice carries the fury of a lifetime of resentment. You lived fat while we begged for scraps, Barth. Tonight, the scales balance. Tonight, we take what should have been ours all along. Barth's chest rumbles with dark laughter. He spreads his arms wide, his aura exploding outward like a volcano. Flames roar into the sky, blotting out the stars. Ha ha ha, you dare lecture me? You just broke through peak tier 6 and already act like you're better than me. I'll burn you all into ash tonight. The sky itself trembles as the two sides face off. Ember light and bloodlust fill the night. Barth's aura erupts in a blazing inferno, heat waves rippling outward. The stones under his boots glow red from the sheer intensity. His fiery cloak lashes behind him, crackling like a living beast. The 5 traitor rulers sneer back, their auras clashing against his, splitting the air into jagged currents of power. Kalen's storm-charged voice booms. Bold words from a man who hides behind his rank. Let's see if your flames can withstand our storm. Barth doesn't wait. His pride won't allow hesitation. He launches forward, his fists wreathed in fire thick enough to melt steel. His strike crashes toward Ravik and Kalen both. Boom! Kalen meets him with a thunderclap, lightning dancing down his arms. Ravik intercepts with a stone fists, every blow echoing like an anvil strike. The 3 clash midair, fire, storm, and stone exploding in a shockwave that sends tiles and rubble scattering below. Barth snarls, pushing back both of them with sheer force. Teaming up. Fine. I'll bury you both in the same grave. Their battle explodes upward, firestorms and lightning bolts splitting the night, molten sparks raining down on the city. On the ground, the other peak tier 6 Ember warrior charges Malric, his greatsword ablaze. You frost-blooded coward. You think flame will bow to ice? Malric's eyes flash cold, frost curling along his fingers as he summons a blizzard around his blade. Fire burns bright, until it's smothered by winter. The two collide, flame and frost exploding in a hiss of steam that blankets the battlefield. The remaining 5 Ember tier 6 roar as one, rushing toward Gorvok, Salira. They know they can only fight the two of they are together, so they carry the burden together. Formations. 1 Ember high-level tier 6 bellows, fire sigils spiraling around his body. We fight as one flame. Salira's lips curl into a smirk, fire gathering around her hands. Pathetic. 5 against 3, and yet still you'll fall. Her flame crashes forward, unnatural and violet, clashing with the Ember clan's scarlet blaze. Gorvok barrels into their formation, his massive axe cutting through wards like paper. The 5th ruler follows, his voice booming curses as his aura presses hard. The air fills with fire, blood, and screams as the two sides collide. Inside the black steel carriage, the battlefield spreads before Alex's eyes like a living tapestry of blood and flame. The gates of Ember City lie shattered, burning timbers scattered like bones. Human clashes against human, monster against Ember warriors, fire drowning fire. Alex sits unmoving, one arm resting against the armrest, crimson eyes half-lidded as though the destruction below is nothing more than a performance staged for him. Mazel, he says softly, without turning. What do you think of those humans? Mazel tilts his head, his gaze sharp, his voice calm and smooth. They are acceptable, Your Majesty. They did not hesitate. The moment you offered them strength, they turned their blades on their former allies. Efficient. But, he pauses, eyes narrowing at the battlefield. They may do the same to you, should a greater benefit present itself. Alex exhales, neither amused nor offended. That is how it has always been. Even monsters betray when it suits their survival. Loyalty is a word men like to hide behind. I am not naive to that truth. He leans forward slightly, his presence pressing down like an unseen weight on the carriage. His next words are measured, absolute. But whether human or monster, betrayal only matters if they are strong enough to act on it. I am not concerned. Mazel bows his head. As it should be. Below, the battle becomes a storm. A wave of humans under Ravik's banner charge through the splintered gates, their earth element aura blazing as they carve through ember defenders. Flame-clad warriors meet them head-on, the streets exploding with heat as scarlet fire collides against molten iron. Hold the line! An ember captain roars, his sword a pillar of fire. He slashes down, severing 3 traitor soldiers in a single strike, only for Kalen's stormborn generals to sweep in, lightning spears piercing his chest. His scream is drowned by thunder. Elsewhere, Salira's fire licks across the rooftops, spreading like a living plague. Ember mages rush to douse it with flame, but her laughter cuts through the chaos. Your fire burns red. Mine burns to devour. The clash is relentless. Walls crumble, streets run molten. The sky splits with lightning and fire. Then, Brartha's roar shakes the heavens. High above, he collides with Kalen and Ravik again, his fists like volcanic meteors. His flames scorch through the clouds, his voice booming over the battlefield. Traitors! I'll incinerate every one of you. The impact of their clash sends blazing fragments raining onto the streets below. Soldiers, human, monster, are vaporized in an instant, their screams cut short by firestorms none of them can endure. Still, the tide does not falter. Alex's army pushes deeper into the city, step by step, banner by banner. Ember civilians scream from their homes, the clash of fire and steel shaking their world apart. The clash at the eastern quarter rages like a storm contained within walls. Gorvok swings his axe in a brutal arc, the force of it splitting through a line of scarlet flames and sending one Ember Tier 6 flying into the rubble. Beside him, Salira moves like a serpent of fire, flames twisting around her fingers before lashing out, consuming 2 more in howling bursts. The 5 Ember Tier 6 stagger, wounds painting their armor black with char. Their breaths come ragged, their auras dimming. Even with their unity, even with centuries of training, fighting 3 peak tier SIXS is a weight too heavy. Gorvok spits to the side, his grin gleaming. That it? I didn't even sweat fighting you all. Salira tosses her silver hair back, fire dancing in her violet eyes. Let's finish this quickly. Then we'll aid the soldiers below and seize this city. The faster we take it, the more we earn a military points. The Ember warriors, bloodied and wavering, exchange glances. One, his face burned and his arm trembling from holding his weapon, bares his teeth. Don't underestimate us. Even if you stand as peak tier 6, we are Ember clan warriors. Another shouts, voice breaking with desperation yet filled with iron resolve. Everyone, let's do that thing. At once, all 5 step into formation. Their movements are heavy, final but resolute. One produces an obsidian vessel inscribed with writhing flame sigils. Without hesitation, each slices open their palms, pressing them to the vessel. Blood streams unnaturally fast, as though sucked into the item. Their faces pale, but they don't falter. The suction grows violent, veins bulging as their life force is dragged out. Salira's eyes widen, fury and disgust flashing in her voice. What kind of evil technique are you using? None of the Ember warriors answer. They only grit their teeth, blood pouring until their bodies shrivel, until their eyes dim. One by one, they collapse lifelessly onto the stones, the last of their essence devoured by the vessel. The obsidian cracks. A sound like a furnace erupting fills the air. Then, from the vessel's shattered remains, a pillar of crimson fire roars into the heavens. The sky turns red, clouds boiling away under its heat. From within the inferno, a towering figure emerges. A spirit wrought entirely from living flame, its form humanoid yet monstrous, towering twice the height of a man. Its eyes blaze molten gold, its mouth a constant roar of fire. The very ground beneath it glows, stone melting into magma. Gorvok's grin falters, his axe vibrating in his grip. Tsh. They summoned a damned peak tier 6 fire spirit. Salira hisses, violet flame coiling tighter around her hands. Fools. They traded their lives for this thing. The fire spirit raises its hand, and an ocean of flame surges forward, consuming the street in a tidal wave. Boom! Chapter 287, 286, Spirit Master. Chapter 287. Chapter 286, Spirit Master. The shockwave blasts Gorvok and Salira back, rubble vaporizing where they had stood. The street is a furnace, every stone glowing red, every breath heavy with ash. Gorvok digs his boots into the molten ground, his axe braced against the wave of fire. Salira spins through the backlash, her flames snapping outward like wings before she steadies herself on a half-melted wall. Both of them are breathing heavier than before. The fire spirit stands tall at the center of the inferno. Its body a writhing colossus of molten flame, molten blood dripping into rivers of magma beneath it. Salira spits blood from the corner of her lips, her eyes narrowing. We might need to go all out with this one. Gorvok growls, planting the head of his axe into the ground to steady his trembling arms. His voice gruff but tinged with grudging respect. So it's really true. A spirit beast is stronger in the same tier. The spirit's roar shakes the very foundations of Ember City, its golden eyes glaring at them like suns. It raises both of its molten fists, each one larger than Gorvok himself, and slams them down. The ground detonates. Lava geysers erupt, splattering across the street, turning stone into rivers of glowing orange. Salira reacts first. She thrusts her palms forward, violet fire surging into a storm, meeting the spirit's flames. Her unnatural blaze eats through part of the firestorm, but the pressure drives her to one knee. Damn it! It's pressing even me down. He swings his axe with both hands, the strike carrying the weight of mountains. Collides with the spirit's arm. Clang! A shockwave bursts outward, vaporizing rubble. Gorvok's teeth grit, his axe biting into molten flame as if it were metal, sparks flying. The spirit reels, but only for a moment. Its other arm lashes out, a blazing backhand that smashes Gorvok across the street and into a collapsing tower. Boom! Gorvok crashes through 2 walls before he stops, coughing blood, but his laughter follows. Gahaha! Now that's a fight. Salira snarls, flames coiling tighter around her body. Her aura flares bright, painting the burning district in unnatural colors. Enough holding back. Salira's flames spiral upward, licking at the night sky until the heavens themselves are dyed red. Her aura pulses in waves, every heartbeat an eruption of fire that devours the scarlet blaze around her. The molten air bends to her will, the cobblestones beneath her feet cracking and splitting as if the city itself recoils from her power. Her voice is sharp, almost a hiss as she glares at the spirit. Gorvok, no more games. We bring this thing down. Together. Alex's carriage rocks gently as the tremors from the eastern quarter reach even here. Through the slitted windows, the sky is lit red as though a second sun has been born, molten plumes clawing into the heavens. The screams of men, the roars of warriors, and the rumble of collapsing walls all bleed together into a single symphony of war. Alex leans forward, crimson eyes narrowing. The corners of his lips curve faintly as he sees the towering figure of flame rise above the ruins. Wait! Alex is a little shocked. Is that an elemental spirit beast? For a brief moment, silence folds around him. His gaze hardens, but his thoughts drift inward. Spirit beasts exist here. He remembers, in the game, apart from warriors and mages class, there were spirit masters. And he remembers her, the girl who walked the adventurer's path, and had chosen the spirit master class. Unlike the others, she had stayed by his side longer than most. For someone who was always alone, Alex had, for once, found a friend. His jaw tightens. His eyes glimmer faintly. So, this world has them too. Then, his presence sharpens, dragging the atmosphere in the carriage taut like a drawn bowstring. He speaks, his tone absolute. Mazel. Mazel bows his head instantly. Yes, your majesty. Alex's eyes never leave the towering inferno beast clawing at Gorvok and Salira. We're going to capture that spirit beast. As you command, my king. The carriage doors swing open with a metallic groan, heat pouring in like the breath of a furnace. Alex steps out first, his crimson gaze fixed on the raging titan of flame. His aura presses outward in a low hum, invisible but suffocating, bending the night air around him. Behind him, Mazel follows. The massive monster rolls his shoulders, and with a rattling clank, 2 enormous war axes unfurl at his sides. Black iron chains link them to the bracers fused into his forearms, the links rattling with every step. He tightens his fists, the weapons answering like hungry beasts straining to be unleashed. The ground trembles again as the fire spirit slams both fists down at Gorvok and Salira. The 2 rulers barely deflect the blow, their bodies thrown backward into molten rubble, coughing blood. Salira's eyes widen when she sees Alex. What are you doing here, your majesty? Alex didn't answer her. Alex walking calmly toward the battlefield, black coat untouched by ash, his eyes gleaming like twin suns in the inferno. The suffocating presence that follows him dwarfs even the fire spirit's overwhelming aura. The spirit roars, sensing a greater threat approaching. Flames burst skyward, the surrounding streets melting into a lake of lava. Its golden eyes lock on Alex, and with both arms it hurls a tidal wave of flames straight at him. Whoosh! The city quakes as the inferno rushes forward, but Mazel steps in first. Back down! His voice booms like thunder. He spins, the twin war axes whirling on their chains. The weapons carve circles of black steel arcs, shredding through the tidal wave. Flames are split apart, torn into spirals of embers. Mazel slams both axes into the ground with a roar, the chains rattling like thunderclaps. The flames scatter, diverted upward in a fiery geyser that explodes harmlessly into the sky. The sky is still raining sparks when Alex finally moves. He raises one hand, palm open, and the raging titan halts its next swing. The fire spirit thrashes, its molten fists trembling in the air as though an invisible wall clamps down on its very essence. The street quakes beneath its weight, but the beast cannot move forward. Salira's breath catches. Gorvok, bloodied but grinning, mutters through broken teeth. He stopped it, with just his hand? Other hand, a crystal emerge. Dark at first, but as soon as it touches the open air, its surface gleams with hungry veins of light, pulsing in rhythm like a living heart. The fire spirit lets out a deafening roar, sensing danger. It writhes harder, its molten body twisting, but Alex's raised hand doesn't even tremble. His voice cuts through the inferno, calm yet absolute. Struggle all you like. It won't matter. The crystal flares. A vortex of light erupts from its core, and the world tilts. The flames wrapping the spirit peel away, shredded into streams of energy that whip toward the crystal. Its molten skin cracks, fragments of its essence ripped free like sparks into a storm. The suction is relentless, the pull absolute. Like the will of the world itself has turned against the beast. The spirit lets out a final roar, one that shakes Ember City to its foundations. It lashes out with both arms, striking the ground, but the blows land weak, almost desperate. Its body unravels, flame by flame, piece by piece, dragged screaming into the crystal. In mere breaths, the towering colossus is no more. The battlefield, once molten and raging, is left barren. Just blackened stone and rivers of cooling magma. The crystal in Alex's hand glows brilliantly, the image of a burning core flickering deep inside, as though the spirit has been caged within. Alex closes his fingers around it, the light dimming to a steady pulse. Silence follows, staggering silence. Alex doesn't spare them a glance. Without a word, he turns on his heel, coat swaying lightly against the scorched wind. The crystal vanishes into his grasp as if it belongs there, and his steady footsteps echo against the broken street. His presence lingers like a weight even after he moves past, the silence swallowing his absence. Mazel lingers, his shadow falling long over the battered forms of Gorvok and Salira. His chains rattle faintly as he lifts one axe and rests it across his shoulder. His eyes are cold, his voice carrying the sharpness of command. You too. Stop wasting time. Help your soldiers and finish taking the city. Don't make His Majesty wait. Chapter 288, 287. The heavens will burn. Chapter 288. Chapter 287. The heavens will burn. The battlefield is still trembling when Mazel's words land like a hammer. His gaze pins Gorvok and Salira in place, sharp as steel. Salira lowers her head, flames flickering faintly around her. Her voice is tight, almost formal. Yes, Sir Mazel. Gorvok wipes blood from his mouth with the back of his hand. His gravelly voice rumbles out steady. We'll see it done. Wouldn't dare keep the king waiting. Mazel studies them both for a moment longer. The chains on his axes clink softly in the quiet, a reminder of the violence they had just witnessed. Though they all stand at peak tier 6, the weight of his presence crushes down heavier than the spirit beast ever did. They know it, both of them. Even together, they wouldn't last long if Mazel chose to turn his weapons on them. With a final grunt, Mazel turns and follows after Alex, his heavy steps fading into the silence left behind. Bartha's fists crash against Kaelin's storm-cloaked arms, sparks and fire spraying like molten rain. Ravik surges in from the flank, his stone-clad fist slamming into Bartha's ribs with the weight of an avalanche. The air shudders with each exchange, every blow carving new scars into the burning district. Bartha's chest heaves, breath ragged. His flames, once towering and fierce, now gutter and twist like a dying bonfire. Blood trickles from the corner of his mouth, sizzling as it drips onto the molten ground. He snarls, forcing himself forward, fists blazing anew. 2 against 1, and you call yourselves warriors? Pathetic curs. Kaelin's laugh is sharp, carried on the crackle of lightning that arcs around him. Better pathetic than dead, Barth. Look at yourself. You're cracking. Ravik presses in, his earthly aura flaring like iron fresh from the forge. His voice is a low growl dripping venom. You had your time at the top. Now it's over. No throne of flame can save you. Barth roars and unleashes a torrent of fire, forcing them both back for a breath. His body trembles, veins glowing faintly beneath charred skin. He is losing. He knows it. Where are they? His thoughts churn like a storm inside his skull. We agreed if any of us were attacked, reinforcements would come. Rank 10 would stand together. That was the pact. But the battlefield is empty of allies. No banners in the sky. No footsteps rushing to his side. Just fire, lightning, and stone crashing against him again and again. Did they betray me? Did they decide I was expendable? His rage twists tighter, hotter. The fury is almost worse than his wounds. His clan is being slaughtered, his legacy burning before his eyes, while his so-called equals watch from afar, silent and still. He bares his teeth, eyes bloodshot with fury as he launches himself back into the fray, fists like blazing meteors. You think my clan will fall so easily? I'll drag you both into the pyre with me. Kalen meets him head-on, lightning spearing down his arm. Ravik crashes in from the side, stone and flame colliding in an explosion that rattles Ember City to its bones. Barth staggers, but he does not fall, not yet. His pride refuses. His fury refuses. The night sky blazes brighter than day. Firestorms clash with storms of lightning, and shards of molten stone fall like meteors into the ruined streets below. The clash of rank 10 shakes the heavens themselves. Barth's fists hammer against Kalen's storm-wrapped arms, his flames raging, but weaker with each strike. Ravik's stone-encrusted fist slams into his side, cracking ribs, forcing a gout of blood from Barth's throat. He reels, his aura sputtering, yet still refuses to fall. His chest heaves like a bellows, golden flames clawing from his cracked skin. His eyes burn with something deeper than pain. Betrayal. Where are they? Barth's roar tears the sky apart. Fire erupts from his body in a pillar, punching through the clouds. We had a pact. Kalen hovers opposite him, lightning sizzling along his arms, his eyes narrowing. No one's coming for you, Barth. They've abandoned you. Barth's laughter bursts out, jagged and broken. It echoes across the battlefield, the sound of madness breaking free. Blood pours from his mouth, his aura boiling hotter, fiercer, more unstable. Abandoned? Betrayed? Ha! Ha 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 ha! His body trembles as flames burst from every crack in his skin, molten blood dripping from his limbs like falling stars. Then let them watch. Let them all see the pyre I'll make of this world. His aura swells monstrously, the fire around him collapsing inward like a dying star. His body becomes a furnace of self-destruction, his life force igniting as fuel. Kalen's eyes widen, lightning faltering. He's burning his own core. Ravik snarls, stepping forward, molten aura bracing. Damn fools, turning himself into a living sun. Barth spreads his arms wide, fire spiraling around him in titanic whirls, the very air warping with heat. His voice is thunder and flame, broken with fury and grief. If I fall, I'll drag the skies down with me. If this is my end, then the heavens will burn. The sky erupts. Barth's final scream, half madness, half defiance, rips across the battlefield as he gathers the last of his life into a furnace of self-destruction. Lightning and molten stone hang in the air. Kalen and Ravik brace for the cataclysm that should follow. Instead, a column of light tears down from the direction of Alex's carriage. Pure, white heat fire, sharpened like a blade. It slams into Barth's raging core. The beam doesn't scorch, consumes. Flame meets flame and the world seems to blink. Barth goes from living inferno to nothing so cleanly that for a heartbeat the air itself is stunned. No charred remains, no ash, no bone. The pillar of fire collapses inward and is gone. A pocket of perfect silence swallows the spot where the clan leader fell. Kalen and Ravik hang in the air, sweat and blood spattering their faces, their auras still roaring. For an instant they only stare. Disbelief, relief, and animal gratitude that tastes of fear. They turn together toward the carriage silhouetted beyond the ruined avenue. Through the smoke they see it. A dark shape at the city edge, cold and implacable even as the battlefield rages. Alex stands on its platform like a statue come alive. Kalen's voice cracks first, raw and hoarse. Your Majesty. Ravik's posture folds. Muscles loosening, he forces out the words the moment his chest unclenches. Thank you, Your Majesty. You saved. He doesn't finish. Both men bow midair, not just from habit but because the sight of that carriage, and the utter annihilation it produced, bends the spine as surely as any command. Alex's figure is a shadowed silhouette against the glow. He doesn't widen his stance to accept praise. He doesn't look pleased. He merely lifts one pale hand. The gesture is casual, almost bored. Finish this already, he says. His voice is soft, but when it reaches them it lands like an order hammered on steel. Kalen straightens with speed that is military and immediate. As you command. Ravik's eyes flash once. Fear, hunger, calculation. Then he grips his fists and drops, diving back into the fray with renewed, ruthless intent. The carriage rides like a dark prow through the smoke. Outside, the city still bleeds light, fires guttering, walls crumbled, the sporadic flare of spells painting the sky in angry bursts. Inside, the air is cool and perfumed with the faint iron of blood lingering on the leather seats. Alex sits motionless, fingers steepled. Mazel stands by the open hatch, one massive hand resting on the chained haft of his axe. He looks like a statue of war waiting to move. A courier bird, black-feathered, its eyes ringed with runes, lands on the carriage rim. Mazel plucks the sealed strip from its leg, breaks the sigil, glances once, then hands the parchment to Alex without expression. He speaks in that low, efficient voice that never rises even in battle. "Your Majesty," Mazel says, "I have news from Zurich, Gratham, and Varila's fronts. They sent reinforcements, 3 low-level tier SIXS in total and 100,000 soldiers. They pushed in, but they were disposed of easily by them." "Good." He breathes the word out like a verdict. "Tell them to hold where they are for now." Mazel inclines his head. "As you command. I'll send the order and stand the reserve down." He lets the carriage rock a moment and then, quietly, almost to himself, "If those humans could gather every force they have and strike together at one point, even I couldn't ignore it. Put all their banners in one field and they become dangerous." Chapter 289, 288. Next is Duskwatch Clan. Chapter 289. Chapter 288. Next is Duskwatch Clan. The city's roar dies slow, like a tide pulling back to reveal broken reefs. Molten rivulets cool into black seams. Fires still spit from collapsed roofs, but the organized chaos, the shrill alarm, the coordinated counterattacks, gives way to stunned silence. Men and women stagger from alleyways, some clutching scorched cloth, some carrying the wounded. Monsters stand in ranks where human lines once held, their armor dented, their breath steaming in the night air. At the shattered main gate, the surviving Ember captains, smudged, bloodied, their banners in tatters, form a trembling line. Behind them, the city's militia huddles. Many lower-ranked soldiers sink to their knees as the truth of the defeat settles. Above, banners of the 5 rulers and the black standard of Erevaris hang side by side, an ugly new constellation. From the carriage, Alex steps down as if he is stepping onto a stage. The air around him sucks cool, even the smoke seems to part. He walks slowly toward the gate, Mazel at his flank, Gander a few paces behind. The ground underfoot is carpeted with ash and fragments of brick, evidence like a ledger of what has passed. A squad of monster guards clears a path. They are Tier 4 and Tier 5 warriors, ogres, scaled centaurs, insectoid spearmen, an odd chorus of claws and plated limbs. Their faces are neutral, they do not gloat. They simply open the way. An elder of the Ember Council, gray-haired, his face blackened by smoke but his posture unbroken, steps forward, hands raised not in defiance but in the old ritual of parley. Soldiers behind him whisper to one another. Someone presses a bloodied cloth to a child's mouth to hush a sob. "Brarth is gone," the elder says, voice cracked. "His sacrifice." He stops, swallowing. "We will lay down our arms. We will negotiate." A murmur runs through the gathered soldiers. Some look relieved. Others gape at the monsters as if they expect them to turn and rend the world. Gorvok, Salira, and the others hover in the sky just beyond the rooftops. Their auras diminished now that the fiercest clashes have died. Alex halts 5 paces from the elder. His presence flattens the crowd's breath. He does not raise his voice so much as place a weight into it. "You surrender," he states plain. "You will lay down arms. You will hand over all heavy weaponry and arcane foci for inspection. You will remove all traces of monster slavery in your laws and practice. You will feed my armies for a month. And..." He pauses, and the air sharpens like a blade. "You will pay tribute to Erevaris. Terms will be explained by my steward." The elder's hand trembles as he steps forward, humility and horror warring in his features. "We will comply, your majesty. We do not wish for more deaths. We have seen what became of Brarth. We will pay. We will free our slaves. We'll provide grain, coin, whatever you require." Gorvok calls down, gruff but practical. "Make the lists. Take what you can spare, grain, metal, coin. Spare the townsfolk. We took the towers and the smithies intact for a reason." Salira's voice, carrying from above, adds, "And you will remove any law that enslaves monsters. Show proof within 3 days, or you all will die with this city." Suddenly, a young man in battered armor steps forward from the gathered crowd, throat bobbing with each breath. He moves with a soldier's caution and a son's bearing, shoulders squared, jaw set. "I am Rurden," he says, voice surprisingly steady. Oldest son of Barth. Alex looks at him without surprise, as if the name had been expected. The carriage's lanterns throw his face into half-shadow. He studies the boy for a slow beat, then answers plainly. I killed your father. Do you not resent me? Verdon swallows. For a moment the plainness of the question seems to cut cleaner than any sword, but he straightens, an anger that is not aimed only at Alex lights behind his eyes. I dare not, your majesty. His voice tightens. Not at you. I'm angrier at the Empire and those bastards who left my clan to rot. They were the ones who abandoned us. They will pay for that. Alex's expression does not change. His gaze is quiet, clinical. He inclines his head once, like an agreement and a dismissal rolled together. I will send teams to help rebuild the city. Skilled hands, food stores, a garrison to keep order while you recover. Verdon's shoulders loosen as if the offer has cut a chain. Relief warbles through his voice. You would do that? Alex nods. Yes, and we take nothing that cannot be accounted for. We will not strip what remains from you people. Verdon bows his head in a respectful, almost instinctive motion. Then, as if remembering something urgent, he lifts his face. Your Majesty, may I join your march? I will gather the capable survivors. Let me bring the men who can still fight. For a breath, Alex watches him in silence. The plain answer is almost casual. You may. He turns slightly, signaling the carriage, then adds without emphasis. If you plan revenge or a private vendetta, I won't stop you. Keep it focused. Bring those who will be useful. Verdon's relief flashes into fierce determination. Thank you, your majesty. Alex steps back toward the carriage as his steward folds a sealed ledger into his hands. He issues one quiet order to those around him. Rest tonight. We move at dawn toward Duskwatch clan. The command is simple, final, no argument will be made. Verdon watches him go, then calls after, voice pitched to Carrie. I'll have them ready before dawn, your majesty. Alex offers a curt nod and climbs into the carriage. The hatch closes softly behind him. The carriage rocks once as if waking from the day's violence, then settles. Gorvok, who has lingered on the fringe of the crowd, watches Verdon with a grin that's half mockery, half approval. He claps the young man on the shoulder. Too hard to be tender, but deliberate. Kid, he says low enough for only Verdon to hear. You're better than your dad. Verdon blinks, not sure whether to be offended or honored. He gives a short, dry laugh and steals his face back into the soldier's mask. Around them, the city exhales, a mix of grief, exhaustion, and a brittle hope, and the night takes them all in under its ragged shawl. The chamber of the Alliance is heavy with smoke from braziers and the smell of damp stone. The leaders of the remaining top 10 sit around the wide circular table, their expressions grim. The carved banners of their clans and kingdoms hang above them, but the room feels emptier than it should. A courier has just finished his report and left them in silence. The Red Ember clan is under attack. Reinforcements had been sent hours ago, yet no word has returned. Vask, leader of the Nighthorn clan, leans forward, his clawed fingers tapping against the wood. His voice cuts through the silence. Did the Empire contact any of you? King Adro of the Kareth Kingdom shakes his head, crown tilted as if even it has grown weary. Nothing at all. It's like the Empire has forgotten us. Left us to fend for ourselves. A ripple of unease passes across the table. The robed master of the Stormvale clan exhales slowly, his voice like wind whispering through stone. I truly cannot fathom the Emperor's mind. Is he truly so confident that he can face the invading monsters alone? The Frostpine clan's matriarch slams her hand down, the table rattling. Her voice is ice and fury. My scouts tell me the Ashedge clan has already surrendered to the monsters. And still, too, has yet to send even a whisper to this council. How long have we been calling their king? How many summons ignored? The Duskwatch clan's lord sneers, leaning back in his chair. Too many. The king of two hides behind his walls. The Two Kingdom and the Empire are acting weird. Are they planning something? Vask's clawings scrape once against the table, sharp enough to make several flinch. His eyes burn like coals in the dim torchlight. Tomorrow, he says, voice low but carrying, we go to the Empire ourselves. We demand an audience with the Emperor. If he refuses, we'll know where he stands. If he listens, perhaps we salvage something of this alliance. The chamber grows still. Leaders glance at one another, reading fear and hesitation in every shift of the eye. Chapter 290-289 Vernoso. Chapter 290. Chapter 289 Vernoso. The next day, the capital of the Empire rises in the morning haze, its golden spires gleaming above the layered walls. Merchants and soldiers throng the avenues, But all noise falters as shadows fall across the city. 8 figures descend together from the clouds, their peak tier 6 auras spilling out like an ocean tide. The air buckles under the pressure. Windows crack, beasts howl, and ordinary citizens collapse to their knees gasping for breath. And yet, the 8 restrain themselves. Their power lingers like a storm on the horizon, enough to remind all who see that these are no common petitioners. Hovering above the Imperial Plaza, Vask cups his hands to his mouth, voice rolling like thunder. Emperor Varnin, please grant us an audience. We come only to discuss matters of survival. The plea carries across the city. Silence answers. The gates of the palace remain shut, the banners unmoving. The leaders exchange tense glances. The Frostpine matriarch whispers, "Why is there no response?" Adro tightens his jaw, his voice low. "This is dangerous. Too dangerous. If the Empire views us as aggressors." But then a sound. A deep rumble trembles from the heart of the palace, like mountains groaning awake. The next instant, an aura erupts outward. Every heartbeat screams of death. Their bodies lock, every instinct telling them that this is not power to be measured. It is power to be survived. Then comes the voice. Cold. Unfamiliar. Each word pounds directly into their souls. "Who are you people? Why do you make a scene in my friend's city?" The 8 freeze. Even Vask, boldest among them, stammers through a dry throat. "See, sir, we are His Majesty's subjects. We only wish for guidance." No answer. Only silence and that suffocating presence weighing down the air. And then, suddenly, reality itself buckles. Their vision blurs. The plaza, the sky, the city. It all twists like ink in water. In the blink of an eye, they stand on polished obsidian stone, beneath a vaulted dome studded with constellations wrought of crystal. The throne room of the Empire. Before them, towering at the far end, is the great throne itself. Shadows curl along its base, light bends strangely around it, and the pressure of that earlier aura lingers still, heavy and unrelenting. The 8 leaders drop instinctively into guarded stances, breaths shallow, hearts pounding. None dare speak first. Vask's gaze lifts and freezes. His eyes widen. What? It isn't Emperor Varnin who sits on the throne. Instead, a broad-shouldered man lounges there like a drunk at a tavern. One leg hanging over the armrest, a smirk playing at his lips. His hair is wild, his coat undone, his presence utterly unbefitting the throne. And yet the weight of his aura makes the air quake. At his side, standing not as ruler but as attendant, is Emperor Varnin himself. The stranger waves a hand lazily. His voice is mocking, casual, like a knife hidden in laughter. "What do you lot want? You storm into my friend's city, flaring your little lights like you're about to start a war." Vask's throat works. He forces his head down, his voice trembling but polite. "And no, sir. We only came to request reinforcement from His Majesty. Nothing more." The man quirks an eyebrow, tilting his head toward Varnin. "Oh? Reinforcements. Is this about those monsters, the ones crawling over from other continent?" Varnin bows his head slightly, his tone subdued, almost deferential. "Yes, Sir Vernoso. They are the very ones I requested your aid against." Vernoso clicks his tongue, leaning back deeper into the throne. "Tier 6 pests, isn't it? Humph. To me, a Tier 7, that's nothing but swatting flies. And honestly, it's distasteful me lowering myself to bully insects." He yawns, then stretches, before his eyes sharpen with sudden cruelty. "But if you give me 5 more peak Tier 6 today, I'll take care of it tomorrow." The 8 leaders freeze. Confusion twists through their faces, but beneath it, a cold dread blooms. Varnin's voice cuts like a whip. "Then choose from among these 8 here." Vask jerks, his claws scraping air. His voice cracks with disbelief. "Varnin, what do you mean by this?" Vernoso leans forward, resting his chin on his fist. His grin is wolfish, predatory. "Don't panic. Don't you all want to kill those monsters? Then think of it as a noble cause. Your sacrifices won't be in vain." He points a lazy finger across the room, sweeping past Vask and another 2. "And don't worry, I won't pick you 3. Just these other 5. Trash who barely clawed their way to peak Tier 6. The 5 leaders he singles out stiffen. Horror breaks across their faces. The air turns heavy, like the ceiling itself is pressing down. The Duskwatch Lord snarls, trying to force a step back, but his legs betray him, rooted to the floor. "Why, you can't be serious. We came here for aid, not execution." The Frostpine matriarch's voice shakes, her icy composure shattering. "Varnin, you would let this stranger feed on us like cattle? After we stood as your empire's shield for centuries." Varnin doesn't look at her. His gaze stays low, fixed on the ground beside Vernoso's throne, as if he dares not meet their eyes. Adro of Kareth grits his teeth, his fists trembling at his side. This is betrayal, nothing less. We bled for the Empire. My bloodline died for the Empire. And now you offer us up like coins to pay this man. The 5 marked leaders strain, sweat running cold down their backs. One tries to summon his weapon, but his fingers refuse to move. Another gasps as her knees buckle. Please. The Frostpine matriarch's voice breaks. Vask, do something. The throne room tastes of cold metal and old incense. Vernoso watches them with an amused tilt to his mouth, as if peering at ants arguing over crumbs. The 3 Vask of Nighthorn, King Adro of Kareth, and the Stormveil Master say nothing. Their auras flare reflexively, but Vernoso's presence swallows the light like a cloth over a flame. Vernoso sighs, bored. Very well. He inclines his head toward the 5 he singled out. His fingers braid a motion in the air. No heralding thunder, no flash. Just a pressure that moves through the room like wind through reeds. One by one, the 5 leaders leave their feet. They hover, bodies limp, weapons tumbling from slack hands. Panic tears across their faces, but their limbs will not answer. The air around them hums, even their words get caught like fish in a net. Vernoso looks to Varnin with a lazy smile that never reaches his eyes. I'll be in my lab, he says casually. Do not let anyone disturb me. If anyone tries to interfere. He lets the threat hang, effortless and absolute. You will learn what it means to be useful and dead. Varnin bows until his forehead almost kisses the floor. His voice is barely a whisper, hollow with something like shame. Yes, sir. I will keep the palace sealed. Vernoso pushes himself up from the throne in a fluid motion, oversized coat flaring. He leans near the 5 floating leaders, studying them as if choosing fruit. Don't struggle, he murmurs with a predator's politeness. It bruises the meat. Hello everyone, this is Shadow. Due to copyright restrictions on YouTube, I can't publish many of the audiobooks you love. That's why I've created a special paid service where you can enjoy over 300 high-quality audiobooks from platforms like Webnovel, Pocket FM, Audible, Wuxia, and more. Each novel comes as a one-time purchase, no subscriptions, no hidden fees. After payment, you'll receive full access via Telegram, along with all future updates for that novel. You'll find a wide selection of your favorite genres and titles, always in premium audio quality. Check the full list of available novels in the description. DM me now to get your favorite stories in audiobook form and start listening today.